game. We had the Ravens and Bills.
Ravens and Bills, man. Don't shed no tears on us, man. It's all good, man. It's all good, man.
Nah, for real though, man. I mean, the Bills went out. I've been saying the whole season of this first season, man. The Bills are a blue collar team. They go out there and they do what they got to do. There's a lot of guys that they gonna show up, and you don't even know their name. Just like number 24, I still don't know his name. That man ran 101 yard pick back.
Oh,
come on, man! I still don't know the man's name yet, but
yeah,
he showed up and did his thing.
Not a good pass by Lamar Jackson on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I even on the play, I was looking at him. I'm like, why is he? It was a couple plays before that too. He was kind of eyeing his receivers.
Yeah, I mean that guy kind of drifted. I mean he didn't see him coming. Now you didn't think he just came out of nowhere.
He was eyeing Lamar. Lamar was eyeing the receiver. So I'm like, don't throw that ball. And he threw the ball. I was like, what are you doing? But yeah, that was Lamar Jackson's first red zone pick of his career. I think he got like 46 touchdowns passing and 1 interception. That's amazing still. But that's the worst time to have your first mistake. So
the Bills, they came out and said, hey, we heard about that defensive front, and we're just gonna throw the ball. We ain't even gonna attempt to run the ball.
Yeah,
I think they had what? They had no rushing attempts in the first quarter. Yeah. And maybe 3 in the whole first half.
Man, they really didn't run the ball a lot, but they did what the Patriots do. They took that thing out the Patriots playbook. They came out. They did the dink and dunks, which is essentially runs. They're kind of still runs. You're throwing to guys behind the line. Oh my God, that just reminded me. How do you line up 2 men on 2 different occasions versus 3 receivers? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, those little short screen passes.
Yeah, our defense coordinator owe us at least some money back on those. Like, what are you doing? Like, what?
I mean, you throw that all day. I mean, you see 2 on 3.
2 on 3, no brainer. Like, what?
Come on, that's just a numbers game at that point.
Exactly, bro.
I guess they was trying to probably in some type of zone instead of a man. So
that's Pop Warner. Even so, but you gotta see that and you gotta adjust.
Line up. You gotta line up.
Especially twice. Like it happened twice.
Hey. So, I mean, maybe the defense coordinator was out-coached on that one. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe their game plan was tailored to – I mean, Bills coming into it, they was already down 1 running back. So, I mean,
yeah.
But I didn't expect them not to attempt to run the ball at all. But I guess they said they didn't need to.
Yeah, their leader had 7 carries, 25 yards. I mean, they should have known they wasn't going to be able to run the ball on that defensive front anyway. But one thing I did expect to happen was Diggs was going to get his.
Oh, yeah. Diggs got his.
He definitely got his. He's going to get his on everybody. He's one of those guys. He just definitely going to get his numbers. He's going to go underneath. He's going to go over top. So, and most of his passes were underneath. He might have got behind us once, and I don't think he really got much out of that. So,
I mean, Josh Allen, he played a smart game. He didn't make mistakes. He threw the ball where it needed to be.
Right.
I mean, and on the other side, Lamar Jackson, a lot of people saying it wasn't his best game. But what you think?
I don't think any quarterback would have won that game. I don't care who it was. No quarterback in the entire football league would have won that game. Outside of Lamar even making that mistake we just spoke on, like he's not absolved from, none of the blame, but no quarterback would have done well with no quarterback would have done well with pass rush coming up the middle consistently. On top of that, you have your center. I think it was 7 times with bad snaps, which the last ultimately got Lamar out the game with a concussion because he snapped the ball high.
And y'all, the Baltimore Ravens offensive scheme, it's all about, catching the ball, read options. So, you need the ball to be where it need to be.
Exactly.
Because, everything's quick, and deceptive.
And you can't really make a lot of decisions if you got to worry about now, am I going to get the ball on the hike?
Right.
So, maybe they could have adjusted it and went under center, but most of their schemes is like, hey, you seeing what's going on defense.
Well, I'll tell you what I saw. The Bills was playing, their safety was playing up, pretty much as spies. So, they had guys dedicated for the running back and guys dedicated for the quarterback and Lamar Jackson and those safeties. So, they weren't allowing them to run the offense efficiently.
Yeah.
And the counter to that is being able to pass the ball down the field, but you got to have receivers to get open, right?
Yeah, you got to have somebody to throw it to. You can go back and look at the film. Because I was kind of upset a little later, I actually went back and watched the game. It wasn't a lot of open receivers. We as usual in the playoffs, every playoff game we had with Lamar. We had receivers and tight ends dropping the ball. You cannot have that.
Yeah,
people try to say it's an excuse, but nobody can deal with that.
I mean,
There's nothing you can do.
You need a number one receiver.
Absolutely.
Period. I mean, Hollywood Brown drafted in first round hasn't been that guy, right?
No, he's not. He definitely could be the best number 2 receiver in the league. He could be.
But you need another guy on the other side, or on the other side of the field in the slot to be that number one guy, and that's kind of what the Ravens are missing. I mean, because I'm looking at the scheme, I'm like, wow, they sure not only this week but last week run Lamar Jackson a lot. Thank God that he's a durable quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get hit a lot, so he doesn't have to be durable. He doesn't get touched a lot. Even when he does get hit, he's on the way down, or he's he's falling in a way that he don't take the brunt of the hit.
And that's good because we seen like Warford get knocked out the game last week,
right.
And even Patrick Mahomes get knocked out the game.
Yeah.
This week, and I always think about it like we haven't seen offensive talent like Lamar Jackson since Michael Vick, right?
No, yeah, it hasn't.
And Michael Vick, I think he played maybe one 16-game season his whole career, if that.
Yeah, he definitely he's another guy that didn't get the slide down. And yeah, he took a lot of hits.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just I'm glad to see Lamar Jackson has been so healthy and durable. I mean, because your best ability is availability in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And especially when you have a scheme behind, a quarterback,
Yeah.
It's good that he can stay on the field. But I mean, the backup came in and kind of, did his best Lamar Jackson impression.
I mean, like I always.
But
I spoke on Tyler Huntley before, man. He's pretty fast. Like people look at him and they don't. Hey, what was this guy? Yeah, he definitely got some action Jackson in him. Absolutely. I mean, but like I said, it was a whole team effort for that loss, and we just didn't get the job done at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to put up more than 3 points. I mean, and what's going on with Justin Tucker?
I mean, did you see the flags on the poles? They was like in a straight line.
Yeah, the wind was kind of swirling. I mean,
until second half,
and that made it hard even for passing quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, like they was in that direction.
Yeah, Josh Allen only had 206 yards.
Yeah, and throwing the deep ball was very tough.
Yeah,
because it was overthrows because the wind was just taking it. On one side of the field, and same way with kicking. I think all the kickers was having a hard time kicking the ball on that side of the field.
For both kickers miss kicks. I mean, I don't expect Justin to miss kicks, but I kind of understand. But you can't have it. You just can't have it, man. You can't have it.
Yeah, I was like, dang, he kind of, somebody took a little bit of his mojo today. I mean, but I mean, under those weather conditions, it's gonna be tough to kind of gauge where you need to put the ball. You're trying to overcompensate for the wind, and then you kick it too far to the left.
Yeah.
So
I mean, honestly, on top of that, I really thought I would have seen more Dez Bryant. I didn't really see him on the field a lot of snaps.
I didn't see him make any plays.
We talked about get Lamar number one receiver. He's the most aggressive receiver we have. Honestly, which is sad.
And a guy who been out of football, he's been out of football for a couple years.
So yeah, I guess he got that chip on his shoulder. We got a guy in Miles Boykin that was supposed to be. I mean, he's a big guy. He's a fast guy. He's pretty much the ideal guy that you want to have Lamar to have. But he's not aggressive at all. He doesn't run great routes. His biggest asset is him blocking upfield, and he's a receiver. He's not a tight end. So we need him to be what he's supposed to be. I mean, hopefully something clicks in the offseason. Hopefully we have an offseason and we can actually prepare these guys and maybe develop some of these receivers. But
yeah, hopefully that draft, this draft upcoming draft, y'all draft a receiver in the first round.
Right.
There's some good ones out there, coming out of college. So
yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago when we drafted Hayden Hurst. That year I wanted he went to the Carolina Panthers. DJ White, what's his name? Whoever the Panthers drafted that year in 2018, I believe. 2017, 2018, whatever it was. But we could have got him, and now he's like he could be our number one. He's playing that good in Carolina.
Right.
So I mean, he just those little things like that. But I mean, but at the end of the day, that Hayden Hurst pick still ended up being J.K. Dobbins, which I mean, we definitely were soon to be needing a running back, and J.K. Dobbins definitely I can see him being one of the top running backs in the league.
Yeah.
So I mean, so future's bright. So let's
So
go.
yeah.
Let's go to the next squad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.